I've always been interested in the links between environment and society. And I think during the course, particularly actually as a younger man travelling, and I also worked as a journalist at some stage, and I was particularly interested again in the emerging environmental issues agenda. But the more that I travelled, and particularly the more that I travelled to developing countries where the people were living in conditions of poverty or marginalisation, I began to see that you can only really understand environmental issues from the standpoint of those people, what they need, what their priorities are, how they sometimes become the losers within environmental issues in terms of the impacts on their local environment of other pressures. But they can also, and this was the revelation really, that they could be the losers when intervention takes place by environmental groups, conservation groups, people working in the name of sustainable development, often from outside and so on. So I'm particularly interested in critically analysing those interactions between the people and local people and their environment, but also people and the whole idea around development and environmental intervention or environmental management. Where I began to do this more critical research, or at least I like to think that's what I do. Focused particularly around extreme events, which could be weather related, they could be more geophysical. I've also even looked at health risks. But it's trying to understand how people perceive them, people who have often few material resources, few choices that they can actually make, recognizing that people often know a lot more about the risks they face than scientists may think they do, but they're actually making rational or quasi, almost sort of rational choices to prioritize certain things over others. So that's where the whole, my interest, I suppose, intellectually in climate change is in trying to work through that. And I'm really putting climate change, vulnerability and adaptation in the everyday context of people's lives, particularly the lives of the poorest and the most marginalized.